So in order for us to be able to find someone's future belonging, we have to take them into the future. Basically, I'll just give you a bit of a read of it and then we'll have an understanding. Day to day, we are unconsciously making links between our identity and certain groups. So I'm going to say that again, our identity and certain groups. The highest form of transformation any human being can have is the level of identity. When someone has a near-death experience, they change their identity, nothing else. And that cascades through everything else in their life, their values, beliefs, the whole thing. So we constantly so values is here, identity is above that. So when I can get your values aligned and your identity connected to a future belonging, we've got a very good position to work with you from. So unconsciously making links between our identity and certain groups. And more importantly, the success they have accomplished through their achievements. Every one of us is walking around and saying, oh yeah, that group has achieved some things. If I was part of that group, I would probably have a pretty cool life. Oh, wait a minute, that group just achieved some cool things. If I was part of that group, I'd have a pretty good life. And that's why when you see like a tennis player come from some remote country and they win a gold, everybody in that country starts playing tennis because they all want to belong to the group. Are you with me so far? Yep. We see this time and time again, future belonging in action, where they just activate this spark and they go, I want to belong to that. And the whole tennis schools are just flooded with people. Certainly soccer in certain Brazilian places for sure. When those soccer players go and win the championships, you can imagine the influx of people wanting to play soccer, wanting to belong to the group of people that win soccer, and they see that and they want to be a part of that. When someone is in a group we wish to belong to sometime in the future, does something meaningful in our eyes, we say to ourselves, those people over there are doing something terrifically worthwhile. We probably don't say it exactly like that. Which in turn activates future belonging. In order to identify our client's future belonging, that should be belonging, page 85 there. Get them to imagine they are 80 years old and being interviewed about their life when the interviewer asks them the following question. So tell me, what is it like being such an incredibly successful, and they just fill in the blank. That's it. And this for me is the fastest way I've been able to find someone's future belonging. I've tried many different processes and questioning and whatever, but the easiest is just go 80 years of life out there in the future. I'm there interviewing you for a magazine and I say, all right, so tell me, what's it like being such incredibly successful? And they just fill it in. Husband, speaker, author. And I just keep asking it over and over and over and over again. And we just keep getting answers. As a coach, what I do then is I allow myself to tune into the one that I felt was the most congruent for me. So I decide on which one I felt was the truest for me. But then I ask the client, out of all of those you mentioned, which one was the truest for you? And if we both get a match, that's a nice signal. But remember, the client's always going to be right. So they will then say, this one felt the truest for me. You go, great. Once you've done that, you run them through what we call a 5 times why. So in this example, this person says, so please tell me what it's like being such incredibly successful. And their first answer was what? Author. Can everyone see that? Okay, their second answer was? Third answer, fourth answer, and fifth answer. Great. So then after I've answered it 5 times, I ask them which one has the feeling of the greatest long-term commitment to you. So which one feels like it has the greatest chance of long-term commitment in your life at this stage in your life, because it can change later, but right now what feels the most congruent? And this person said wellness coach. So they said, I want to, wellness coach is the one that has the greatest chance of long-term commitment for me. I said, fantastic. So then I asked them the question. It's not written here, but it is on the template. But the question is, why is being a wellness coach important to you? And this person said, because I can make a real difference in people's lives. I said, great. Then I got the answer, make a real difference in people's lives, and I feed it back. So the next question becomes, why is making a real difference in people's lives important to you? And she said, to be totally fulfilled. Then I said, to be totally fulfilled, why is that important to you? And she said, it's true to my mission. Being true to your mission, why is that important to you? See what's going on? And we just keep going, going, going. And then she said, I can finally feel love for myself. We basically just call this values chunking, where you're chunking up and up and up to the highest value. And when we got to that, we were pretty close. Now all we've got to do is break down some actual steps that are required to create this. So together we brainstorm all the tasks that allow this person to become a wellness coach. And as we were brainstorming, we came up with creating regular blog posts, studying relevant wellness articles, creating press releases, constantly refining interview skills, posting weekly updates, designing, and etc. And now what we've got is a whole bunch of action steps. What kind of steps? That we can set at the end of every one of their sessions. If they come up with 50 of these, you've got all your action steps for a full year with this client. It's done. So every session, you just give them a maximum of 3, ideally 1. And they've done the whole process themselves. Interesting? Let the client do all the work. It's the most important part of the process.